to take advantage of anything they could get going on just in the initial defense phases. Especially on a defensive-sided map, you really need those rounds.
Why is Retro's name?
I don't know. All of Reciprocity's names are red. Is it a new trick? Thatcher, there we go. There's the Thatcher band. Didn't work for EG, but maybe Luminosity thinks it'll work better.
Not Skies, though. Not Skies.
He's the outsider now.
The Thatcher, I mean, yeah, like I said, Thatcher, Maverick. I mean, whichever one, to be honest. Whatever you want to ban, man.
There goes the Monty.
It's whatever you're less comfortable playing against. It also depends on how you're going to try and counter your opponent. Depends on if you're going to want to leave the wall and just forfeit it to your to the attackers, or if you want to, maybe you want to play with ADS heavily and bandit trick it. You know, there's different ways to handle that.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine they were at least watching how they manhandled EG without the Thatcher and are going to be a little more prepared for it. So it shouldn't catch them so much off guard.
Yeah,
there's the Echo. No surprise there to see that go. So will it be Maestro or Mira for this last one? I can imagine Mira, but could be Maestro as well. Nope, there we go. Poor Echo and Mira. Forever living in the trash bin when it comes to bans.
Well, in the trash bin, but they're in the trash bin of the bans because they're
of course.
They're polarizingly good.
Yeah. And of course, there's only so many bans, so at least that means Maestro slips through.
Yeah, and Maestro will probably be played many of these rounds, as we expect, especially in North America, but just in general, he's a very potent operator. You see Pixel bringing the Mozzie. Nothing surprising there. This is all very standard fare. Capital left unbanned is pretty substantial.
Yeah. That's definitely going to see some play for sure. As we saw, as you mentioned, banned before. It was banned in the two of the first three matches. It actually wasn't banned on Cafe, but just didn't get played a ton. But definitely a useful operator on this map in particular. So I'm not surprised. Church going to be the first site to start out with here. So they're, of course, going to bring the Kaed to be able to help stop those hatches from being opened, but nothing to stop Church Wall from being opened. So that definitely could be an opportunity for Retro to potentially do that. Fox, of course, as well. Kaed are not going to help open up those hatches. Maybe not all of them, but it depends on which ones will get tricked because there's only 2 Electro Claws. So that means whichever one is not being Electro Clawed can be Thermited, and the other 2 could be opened with Maverick potentially, and that still leaves 1 for the Church Wall. So enough utility on the side of the attackers to deal with Tomas's play, or Thomas, I guess without an H was his old name.
Yep. Well, there are some really interesting things you could do with Electroclaws on this site. For example, you can Electroclaw trick the kitchen drop if you wanted to, but that would be kind of suicidal. And you can Electroclaw trick the Moto drop, which is a lot easier to do because there's no soft destruction around it. You could also put one on that drop, but you can't trick it.
Yeah, the stock drop definitely a little riskier because you could get flanked from stairs, potentially.
I mean, you can't trick it. Like I said, there's...
Yeah.
You can,
I just mean in terms of like trying to do something actively.
Yeah, you can impact trick the kitchen drop really easily with a Kaid, and you can Electroclaw trick the Moto drop really easily. You just stand on the boxes.
Yeah, 'cause you can pick it back up.
And just place it and pick it back up, and place it and pick it back up. Yeah, it's pretty easy.
I'm curious to see how many spots like that people will find in terms of ways to vault up in certain areas to be able to trick. Ooh, early kill on the Fox. I'm not sure, the Maverick is, 100% necessary, if they have to get all the hatches or not, but that's not a good start for, I'm not sure if he was starting to burn some of the hatch open, or either way, though, that's even better than an impact trick.
Some kind of information going on there, but yeah, it looks like he was trying to open the drop. You can see little holes there.
Might have been too predictable because of what he showed during the EG match.
Maybe, I'm not sure. Ooh, Mark, though, has managed to make his way into Dirt Tunnel. He's going to get an angle onto the Jaeger of Rexon, but he's actually going to be, unable to land the shot.
Too
so Rexon,
slow.
Yeah, Rexon able to continue to play inside of blue, and he'll just get some pre-fires. He knows there's somebody inside of Dirt. He doesn't know, however, I'm sure, that there are 3 people inside of Dirt. Wow, what a stack up here from Team Reciprocity. And they're going to use the Capital Firebolts to try and get this player to move, as well as the smokes to cover the ingress. Going to be somewhat successful, though not fully. Metro goes down, and he'll be finished off. Hyena going to take out a mark as well. It's just Laxing out of Dirt, and he'll get 1, 2, in fact. Pistol out, but can't get the third. Hyena on a long angle, and Luminosity win the first round. Not really sure what was going through Reciprocity's heads there, but...
Bullets.
Sure.
It was, as soon as Fox died, it seemed like they just decided to pivot. I mean, maybe it was the case they were already planning it, but it just seemed like, you know what? We're going to have trouble with these hatches. Let's just go in Dirt.
So when I said I'm not sure what's going through their heads, what I meant is the aggressive push in through dirt. I guess that they were worried about clearing out the roamers, and they just wanted to say, heck it, let's take sight. But it was not the right call in the end. Poorly executed and well received by Luminosity.
Can't imagine that's going to work a second time, either of those. I mean, I don't think they're going to go dirt like that a second time, and I don't think the C4 onto Fox is going to work a second time around. But they do have to change sites, of course, from winning that, so they're going to go to Cash instead. Maybe some different results on here. This guy's going to be bringing that Nomad. We'll see Fox again on the Maverick. Of course, kind of necessary to deal with the walls without Thatcher. So I can imagine he's going to be potentially doing the old Maverick tricking where you take down the reinforced wall part and then have the Sophia potentially open up the rest. And we'll see if that ends up being the case, but I got to imagine that's the way they're going to go about it. As it's going to be, okay, if it was Bandit, I suppose they would just go with the old, let's just open up the bottom, shoot the batteries sort of thing, so you can kind of be a little more flexible with it. And I'm glad that Maverick tricking exists, because I think it's interesting the way it works in terms of the way that you kind of take down the reinforced part and then you need a soft destruction to take down the rest. So there's like some depth to it.
Yeah. Definitely is quite interesting. Now, Reciprocity tried to do it without clearing out the roamers last time. Less roamers to clear, less ground to clear on a cash defense. But will they commit this time? They've got the Capitao to pressure into garage. That's pretty big. Doodle playing down in the garage to try and assist Rexon. He's going to try and impact that garage wall, but I think he's too far to really land the impact at this point.
Yeah.
Exothermic is placed, I believe. It must have been called out by Rexon. And he's just faking it out. At this point, I think he's just faking it out. Impact goes out. Wow, right. Beautiful throw there from Doodle. Second exo.
All right. Good night.
That's really unfortunate if you're Team Reciprocity and really well played from Doodle. That impact is not easy to land. That's a very, very tight angle, and you got to give it to Doodle for practicing that. You got to imagine he must have gone into a custom and just over and over and over again is throwing impacts at that wall.
Ooh, Rexon with a nice kill. No more Capitao. That means it's going to be even harder to get him out of this position.
Yeah, this whole take from Reciprocity is kind of falling apart right now.
It just seems like they're not as warmed up. They don't seem to have the aggression. They're not landing as many shots. You see some slow plays like from Mark. They're just, I don't know. I don't feel like Reciprocity maybe warmed up enough for this first, and maybe we're going to see a slow start to them. But at the same time, it's good play here coming out from Luminosity.
Yeah, you do have to hand it to Luminosity in that they have played everything pretty much perfectly right now, and no major mistakes have been. I mean, I haven't seen any major mistakes at all.
It's a good thing they don't need the thermite charges for the wall with the Maverick tricking, because they're not going to have any left.
Yep.
Nice push there into Lounge from Skies, though.
Mistake number one, I suppose. This Doodle goes down, not even trying to hold on to the stock angle, and that's going to get Reciprocity back into this match. And Pixel also not going to check Dark.
Oh, that's
There's Retro right there, and he could easily get a kill there, but some really bad timing for Retro, and Pixel will get away unscathed.
Yeah, might have been on drone and not heard him approaching.
Possible.
The case.
No, he looked like he was holding on the Lounge, and actually Retro will die to Pixel, dropping the diffuser inside of Garage.
Misplay.
That is detrimental to Team Reciprocity. While Pixel will die, there is one player on Rafters, and that's going to be Rexon, who has the Garage and the diffuser, but he'll die to a nice crossfire by Reciprocity. Hyena now the last defender, but he is in a winnable situation with only 8 seconds left. It's a rush here from Skies, in sight. He's going for a plant. Fox A to support. Fox, though, does die. 1 second left. And it's going to be a stick from Skies. He might have time. Yes, he's off the diffuser. Is he going to land the shot? No! Hyena with the 1 versus 2 clutch. A beautiful play and a nice attempt for Reciprocity, but it gets halted. And Luminosity go up 2-0.
It was a little surprising that Luminosity was able to win that out, just because they definitely stormed the castle. They had a good advantage in terms of planting it, but not knowing where the Maestro was, they ended up planting near him instead of away from him like they could have on servers. It's unfortunate, just lack of information there. But Retro walking into Garage, that was the mistake that cost them around, dropping diffuser in that area. I mean, yeah, they had a good rush after that onto the actual server side, but just, I don't know. if you were on your drone, then you probably should have seen the drone got taken out from behind, so you knew someone was probably in garage. Just, I don't know, the timing not working out great there. But that's only 2 for Luminosity. Could switch around. Sky's going to switch off to his other main of Sledge, something else he plays well. And it's going to give them the extra bonus soft destruction if they need it, as they know it's going to be Jim next, so they know they're going to need to deal with those castle barricades. So that is a smart choice. Don't want to depend completely on the Zofia to have to do those. You want to save those for catching the castle barricades that are going to be a bit deeper, which of course you'll need to clear ADSs for first, but then that gives the opportunity to stop the bandit from being able to do his job as effectively. You know, the old open up the gym, open up the angle, move the bandit away, and then open the wall. Which, of course, there's not a Kaid this time to do it more safely from a distance, which is surprising that this would have been the round to do that, too.
Well, Kaid is definitely a solid operator to, you know, get that trick from afar, but you can't use him against a Thermite. The timing, it just doesn't work. There is no Thatcher, though, so he would be useful here for sure. You can see that Doodle is playing expecting the wall to open up with his shield placement, with his Evil Eye placement. The only tricky thing is holding onto Office. When you get that, okay, so yes, he could do a lot of work with that shield. He's actually maneuvering here. What I was about to say is, when you lose control of Office is pretty much as soon as the drop down opens up.
Yeah.
And once that drop down's open, there isn't really anywhere safe you can play in Office. You have to hard hold the drop down. So anyone in Office as a defender, it basically has to stare at that drop for the whole round and trust that his teammates can hold everything else.
Which is certainly not great.
It's not an easy job to do. It's really boring, and a lot of players, I know, like, even at this level, a lot of players will come off of those angles.
You just get antsy after a while.
At the inopportune moments, and they'll lose the round because of it. Anyways, it happens. It's not a sure thing. Pixel inside a strip, just going to be waiting for a run-out opportunity. This is, man, such a common run-out. Oh, boy.
It's been especially common lately. Well, the Claymore is prepared for it.
So he's going to have to give away his position when he goes for the run-out, if he goes for the run-out. This guy's challenging a Pixel angle against Doodle. Neither will find their mark.
Speaking of Pixel, it looks like he is going to come off of that run-out. There's just the creative drawing coming out from Maverick. Ooh. But no, Sky's taken down by a peeking Maestro.
You can see that Doodle is doing a great job of not only holding onto Office, but also simultaneously applying pressure to that balcony on the south side. Is that one wall open? Yep, yes it is. Looks like Reciprocity's only going to take the one wall. And we'll move from there.
Safety first.
Step at a time.
Yeah, they may go for the other wall once they feel a little bit more secure in having that hallway and maybe the top of the stairs, because then you want to be able to push potentially the Thermite in to open up the bathroom wall if you can.
Luminosity are looking really solid right now. They could pressure from server, whether they know it or not. They are definitely in a position to pressure from server. Second exothermic charge going to go into the bathroom wall. That's going to be really big if it detonates. Rexon, though, onto Mark, and there you go. Capital bolt's gone. Hallway hold in hand for Doodle, but he misses the shots. Wow. Unfortunate. Hyena, though, and Pixel also going to put some kills on the board. It's just Retro. Trying to come in from the breach is not an easy push. He keeps walking into multiple crossfires. He's going to get one, but it's not likely he'll be able to get more. Actually, he will. A double for Retro. Has to get a 4K to win it. 20 seconds left for him to make it happen. It's just over 25 HP, about 30. So it's possible. Rexon, though, on a very tight angle here. Not going to be expected in this position with the pre-fire. Luminosity, take the round. A very solid defense there from Luminosity.
Yeah, that's a 3 in a row for them as well. It just seemed like, again, it's somewhat one-dimensional push we see from Reciprocity. They seem to be just always kind of committing to one direction. I mean, I liked the kind of pounce that they made in the previous round onto server side, but outside of that, they just tend to be pushing from one side, at least, you know, for the majority of their force. It tends to be predicted. I mean, the Maestro did lose his gunfight, at least to Fox, but then they just, I don't know, they push themselves very deep and hope to kind of frag it out from there. I'm not sure that they have a lot of intel from the drones at that point. Mozzie's going to come out to make that even harder this time. Nope, 6 pick. I had a feeling he might do that. But they go down to Church. Now, this might be okay round for them this time because I imagine they're not going to lose Fox unnecessarily, and they're not going to push all from dirt. So it should be a little bit better. Buck going to come out as well to try and make the Arsenal a little bit less safe, I imagine, from Kitchen. But we'll see how things shake down this round. probably not terribly different. They are going to have a bandit, though, to bandit the wall on Church, as well as the Kaid, and a mute. So they have a lot to deny opening up walls and hatches.
All of the denial.
Yep. We'll see how that works out. They also can deny a little bit of the drones as well with the mute. Maybe not as effectively as the Mozzie in some ways, but...
Some versatile operators on Luminosity in terms of pure denial.
Yep.
Whether it be for hard destruction, information, what have you. Doesn't look like Thomas is going to try to actually trick the Moto Drop as much as just place one of his electric claws there. He's bringing in Nitro Cell instead of the impact, so the idea for him is not to impact trick as much as it is to potentially get a kill. Second electric claw going to go into the tunnel. That's sensible. It will cover both of those walls. He's just going to wait and double check.
There we go. I thought it wasn't working for a second there because you didn't see the thing going.
He will affirm that it will indeed cover both walls and then rotate back into the site. Yeah, again, the Nitro Cell instead of an impact is kind of interesting for me on a basement clubhouse defense because most teams, well, not most teams rather, but a lot of Kaid players will bring the impacts in on this particular site to try and impact trick the kitchen drop down to give even more denial on one operator.
Yeah, I mean that's his main job, so that makes the most sense, right?
No, but the C4 will be more lethal, of course. So there's options. It's really just what you're up to or what you want. I like the thoroughness here from Reciprocity in clearing out the entirety of the top floor instead of just assuming it's empty.
Well, there is Rexen as well. And the mute jammers, I think, were there to really delay. You saw how long it took them to drone up there just because of the mute jammers. But Rexen getting away while they're, with this rotate while they're doing that. Oh, he gets caught, forced off. So the drone work, again, excellent.
And he's going to fall back to blue. So he'll be deep inside of blue. Nice and safe and snug. And just to make it behind without getting scathed.
Make it sound like he's going to lay down and take a little nap.
I mean, he could. There's a minute 40 left. Just kind of snooze off for a second if he really, really wanted to, but I don't see that as likely.
Well, looks like they are definitely going to push a little bit into blue. Of course, Capital, the one to usually do that because he can get the firebolts behind. Maverick getting spotted out doing some work here on the hatch on Moto.
There's a C4 in the hand of Pixel. He could potentially C4 this Maverick if he plays his cards right. You shoot the Electric Claw, then toss the C4, but he's going to be droned out and will fall back, playing it safe. It was a really thorough round from Reciprocity. I really like the way that they're executing here. They took their time with the top floor clear, but against Luminosity, that's probably really smart.
Yeah.
And then following that, they haven't made any major hiccups on the actual take. This is the first round where Reciprocity hasn't made any kind of early mistake that has really cost them overall momentum. They've also just read that the Arsenal wall is unreinforced, which means it could be an easy take if Reciprocity decides to push there.
There is the buck. I mean, the Ash does a little bit more effectively, but Sky's doing some work with the buck outside of just the skeleton key.
Really nice nade.
Yeah.
Real well placed. There is a three-man stack on Arsenal, so if it be that Reciprocity goes for that, it could work against them. Shotgun out here for a Doodle, and he's going to throw the C4 as Lifeline comes out to try and disorient him. It will land. Rexen also contributing here. Sky is the main contributor for Reciprocity is gone. Mark will be on the floor, leaving just Laxing. With 18 seconds left, this is not really an ideal situation. He'll be finished off by Rexen and Luminosity. Despite being up against incredible odds there with the beautiful execution we were seeing from Reciprocity, in the end, when it comes down to the fights, Luminosity will win.
It was, I mean, great play from Odd as the mute inside Church, getting the first shotgun kill, and then as he's getting flashed, actually getting that C4 kill with a throw. That was, I mean, perfect play from him in terms of staying alive, denying as much as possible, because that was the crossfire that was supposed to help Skies be able to get in. Skies had a great kill with the grenade, and then a follow-up with his gun as well. So it looked like it was going to work for them, especially if Laxing was able to get into a position as well. But just pushing too many people into the bottleneck of Odd straight in. I mean, had Odd not actually got that C4 kill off, he might have actually gotten killed pretty quickly by the second person pushing Moto, but still, well played by him, despite Skies' best effort. That's 4 on the board. However, this is a defensive-sided map. No reason not to suspect this could go to a 6-6 tie off of just defensive rounds alone.
This is very defender-sided. We could see Reciprocity go into the second half and exactly what you said. I mean, that's assuming that Luminosity goes perfect in this first half, which is not a sure thing just yet. Now, Luminosity had a really good go of it last time they were on Cash. It was one of their less decisive rounds, but it looked really good at the very beginning. The reason it was less decisive is because Reciprocity managed to start bouncing back, but they ended up losing the 2v1 to Hyena.
Yeah, that was definitely just unfortunate. Just lack of information on their part. So we'll see. I can't imagine it's going to be a similar situation. I can't imagine Retro is going to end up in that situation again with the diffuser. My big question, though, is why he was there with the diffuser. That's not a position where he's going to do anything useful with it.
He made a whoopsie, man. It happens from time to time.
Ooh, Rexon being a little bit of a whoopsie himself.
Yeah, almost punished there for his rotation, and he could still very well be punished here as he, wow, narrowly dodges a headshot.
That was like a Matrix dodge right there.
Yeah, it was right next to his head.
Like leaned his way out of it.
Nice try from Mark, but not the case. Shot won't land. Exothermic charge, though, will. Doodle, no longer impact tricking. Bottom garage. I'm guessing he wasn't impact tricking because Rexon wasn't there to cover.
That was a big difference. That's a big difference this round then.
Yeah. That definitely is on Rexon for trying to go for the aggressive play. It ended up being the wrong call, and now Doodle is going to have a really difficult time playing down here.
He's still going to try to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, he is. He's trying. He's doing his best, but I mean, the angle's going to be called out from Reciprocity because Retro saw him there, and it should be challenged and should go the way of Reciprocity. Should.
Yeah.
Lots of shoulds here. Doodle challenged, but yeah, there you go. Reciprocity will win that one out. Doodle is recoverable, it seems.
Just question whether or not they'll be able to get to him. They definitely wish they had a dock. Oh, and they did manage to get to him. That's good on them, at least.
Yep. Rexon doing his best to repel the attack, prevent his teammates from being punished for that aggression from Doodle. And the punishment was there. It's going to be most of Doodle's health, but it wasn't a kill, so it's not the end of the world for Luminosity.
Well, so far, the only real damage is Retro taking a bit, Nod taking down, but as I say that, there goes Pixel from Laxing. Laxing usually is kind of a late round player, so getting an early kill for him is definitely good.
He's also going to have a lot of control after he does that. That's going to affect... Oh no, Capital again goes down to Rexon just outside of Garage. Unfortunate if you're at Reciprocity, they've just lost a lot of utility, and it means that, oh no!
Oh, never mind.
The refrag, I was about to say, Luminosity have managed to retain control of Garage, but not the case any longer, thanks to Retro's efforts there. Rexon, usually a little bit more on his feet there, is going to try and inch away, and he will be punished because of it. Doodle in a great position, though, and he will take down Skies, so it's a constant back and forth with these teams. Hyena covering the cross. Oh no, why does he come off ADS at that moment? The gas canister will at least deny the plant, but some really inopportune timing there. Laxing's going to be able to get up cash stairs because of it. The cross is not being covered, and because of that, Thomas will be able to get over there, but Laxing absolutely on fire in a 1 versus 1. He's going to pick up his teammate, but below, Doodle has the impact, and it's poorly timed, perfectly timed, in fact. From below, a double impact kill, and Doodle will salvage the round. Oh no, Reciprocity.
How often do you see a double impact kill? Probably close to never, yeah.
Yeah.
That was... Whoo. And that's odd. Who they downed and let get picked back up. That's the definition of a situation where an unfinished job just comes back to bite you. Well, back to gym we go.
I don't know what to make of that.
I'm sure Reciprocity are thinking the same thing. Laxing, though, was having a good round there. It was just unfortunate timing.
Dude, Laxing was dominating. Laxing was just on top of it, and then...
kill. If they just finished off odd earlier on.
Secure the frag. That doesn't happen.
Nope. Also, losing Mark wasn't great.
Very small mistakes, but yeah, Mark on the garage door dying to Rexon, that was not great.
I guess they didn't need to ban Capital.
Well, from what we've been seeing so far, no, but things could change.
Yeah. This is the last round for them to change for Reciprocity, though.
Isn't this supposed to be Reciprocity? Who was, I mean, well, okay, we've been talking about this a lot. Again, Clubhouse is a defender-sided map. So Luminosity have been narrowly winning these rounds, but they have been winning them. However, when these sides switch, things could change. However, I keep saying that word, but I'll say it again. However. Another thing to keep in mind is that Reciprocity is definitely a momentum-based team.
Yeah.
We've known that for a while now, and if they aren't able to get like maybe one round here on the first half, then it's going to be, I think it's going to be hard for them to actually put 6 together.
Well, when you're on defense, you do get a moment to pause a little bit more. On attack, you kind of got to be on top of it the whole time.
It's true.
On defense, you can check some cams, talk a little bit.
This is definitely looking like a really hard recovery for Reciprocity, though, right now.
I gotta say, I agree.
They do have matches.
Yeah.
Reciprocity do have matches
This
where...
is such a good map for them.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think it comes down to the map with them. I think it just comes down to sometimes they're not in the right headspace.
Yeah.
We've seen that before.
Also, Luminosity had a good chance to see how they play this, and I gotta imagine they're taking advantage of that information a little bit.
It's true. It's true. Well, Reciprocity have opened up the server wall. Now, with that wall open, they're going to somewhat alleviate pressure on the server window, though it might be the case that Luminosity is aware of the way that Reciprocity decides to play that server wall because, well, nobody from Reciprocity is there. They just open it to try and apply pressure, like I said. They don't actually do anything.
What I want to see is once they get this wall open, what are they going to do with it? That's the big change. And Laxing again with the early kill. Okay, another early kill from Laxing tells me he could be on a tear again. Especially after last round, he's probably really frustrated.
Yeah, if Laxing frags out again, I don't think that LG has a chance here. Like, I could absolutely see Laxing just doing so unbelievably well in this round that no one can stop him. I thought that was what happened last round.
Same here.
But it wasn't the case. Well, nobody could stop him until until Ono impacts from below.
Well, things slowing down a little bit, but starting to get into angles from the defenders, trying to find positions where they can safely sit in their spot and defend against the push.
Oh, that gas canister.
Oh, scatter.
So much damage done from that one gas canister. Great effectiveness.
Yeah, Skies is going to be pushed back. Hopefully he's going to get a chance to use both his grenades before he goes down if he does.
Well, you got a heavy roam presence here from Luminosity over on the cash side. In fact, 3 of the 4 remaining players.
Oh.
And there you go, Reciprocity with great control. A beautiful burst into the site. Doodle could potentially deny from below, but I don't think he's in a position to do that. And as Hyena goes down, it's just Doodle. So in a post-plant, he's going to be shut down. Wow, a flawless round from Reciprocity and the most one-sided round we have seen so far.
Just about 5 rounds too late.
Yeah, certainly late, but
well,
it was the one round that Reciprocity needed, I think.
Yeah, I agree, that momentum thing. Also, the important thing about that round is it means they can still win. Because had that round been won by Luminosity, that would have put it in a position where the best they could do is tie.
Yep.
So even more important, because if you lose 6 rounds on the defender-decided map like that, then all of a sudden you can't win anymore. So that's a big deal, I think.
Good on Reciprocity for managing to salvage at least 1 round from the first half. And now that they go to defense, they will have a decided advantage. The question is, will Luminosity be able to surmount said advantage? As they also are in a good spot mentally. And as you said, they must have reviewed some VODs to play so well against Reciprocity on this map.
And I got to imagine, you know, they might be able to somewhat anticipate the attacks, but the attacks are going to vary a bit by Reciprocity, whereas the defenses...
more predictable.
Yeah, it's not going to change, especially on this bomb site. There's only so many things you can tweak.
So unless Reciprocity have adjusted the way that they play Clubhouse since the last time they did a few weeks ago, well, not even a few, last week, then Luminosity, if they have done their had done adequate research, should have a counter strategy up their sleeves right now.
Yeah, we'll see though. The one difference they're bringing is the IQ, which, you know, the nice thing is you could potentially spot the Pulse. So if a Pulse plays down at Arsenal, we have seen it done before where he gets shot in the head. Kind of the thing I was referring to earlier, especially on this map, down in Kitchen. But if he's smart, he'll be playing in Church, and that'll be Mark able to call out a lot of information for them. You know, are they playing in Moto? Are they playing bottom of main stairs? Potentially even spotting Blue, depending on how he moves around inside Church. That'll definitely be critical. You need all that intel. They've obviously got the Maestro as well, since that was not banned, to work in their advantage. But remember the bans were... Okay, so not only is this defender-sided map, but you've also got the bans going against the attacker in terms of the Thatcher. So now that works against Luminosity as well.
Yeah, they brought the Maverick, though, so they can substitute that fairly well.
Of course. Just a question whether or not they're as consistent on it.
It's interesting to see that there is no Habana being brought for the majority of these rounds. I don't think I've ever seen her, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're just assuming Kaed's going to be a thing and just not bothering.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily nullify Habana, though.
It doesn't, but I think they're just thinking we'll bring a different operator and then just depend on the Maverick Thermite.
Yeah, and it's working out fairly well, I suppose, so far, but you know, we haven't actually seen it be truly effective yet.
It's true, with only 1 attack win, that doesn't really vouch too well for that idea.
Maybe that's not the problem, though. It just is one of those things to point out. The challenge here from Luminosity is going to be the actual site take. That's how these basement clubhouse rounds play out. There were no roamers. Luminosity made sure of that. They cleared very effectively. Now they're just trying to figure out how they want to hit the site. The Pulse is calling out constant information here on Luminosity's attack and will be relaying said information to his team. That relay is going to be very important for the defense of Reciprocity, that they can adjust their players inside to handle wherever it is that Luminosity decide to take from.
Well, there's that buck being used upstairs to check the kitchen floor. Could completely backfire on him. But so far, not being punished for this. Just able to play some angles.
It's definitely dangerous, but it's better to do than to not.
Oh, yeah.
Rexon going to take down Retro. There's a trade back. Aggressive play there from Team Reciprocity onto Moto. It's not going to work out for them as Foxegg gets punished.
That's a smoke down as well. They don't have any other kind of delay operator other than, I guess, the Maestro somewhat, but...
They tried to push down the main hall. That's what Foxegg died at, main hall. Very dangerous position. Long angle being played here from Rexon. If he can get that pick, then he can open up the site by eliminating one of the crossfires that exists by Blue. Mark's coming out, but there's a reinforcement preventing those shots from Rexon. This is a really difficult push for Luminosity despite having a man advantage. Mark's going to be able to hold on to that angle really easily inside of Church, but as the plant starts to go down, there's no one to deny, at least not right this minute from Reciprocity. The rush comes out though, and oh, a lot of missed shots, but Thomas manages to edge it out just barely, laxing the last alive, and he's been absolutely destroying his opponents recently, but with so little HP, is it really possible? No, says Rexon, and Luminosity get match point at 6-1.
Wow. I mean, this guarantees at least the 1 point. And that, I mean, I guess if they both get it, they just continue to stay in first place. So.
Well, I mean, neither of these teams are in first place right now. I believe, based on the win that we got earlier from Dark
That's
Zero.
True. So maybe that will keep them out of...
Yeah, they're in second, third right now, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll review that when we get to the standings. Dark Zero should be in first because they managed to beat EG. So both of these teams are in a great spot in terms of total standings for the season thus far. In that they should both have 6 points, but, or actually, pardon me, 7 points. And it was Dark Zero who just bumped past that with 9. But, yes, whoever wins here, if anyone wins, they will be putting themselves in the lead for North America. If this is a draw, then we'll go to each team having 8 points, which is just behind the lead of Dark Zero.
Well, so far, both teams have lost 1 defense. Obviously,
that's true.
If the second one is lost for Reciprocity, that's the end.
I will say that last round, honestly, I feel like it was lost by Reciprocity.
Yeah.
One big mistake that I, of course, would point out would be the push from Foxegg down the main hallway. I understand he's trying to be aggressive and push momentum and get the favor.
These guys are a bit better at being aggressive, though.
But yeah, I was about to say, I feel like Luminosity of all teams are the sort of team that's going to check main hall and expect you to do that.
Yeah.
So when he went for that, I have to. I mean, I don't understand the true full circumstance because I didn't see it, but I saw where his corpse was. It was in the main hall.
Yeah.
And it ended up costing his team quite a lot because that's the smoke making that push.
He keeps dying a bit early, yeah.
And that death is going to prevent any kind of halt power that Reciprocity has, any kind of denial that Reciprocity has on that Moto door, which is probably what his job would have been had he not died.
It also didn't help that Thomas was able to win the fight in Church as well, when he probably shouldn't have.
That's true. I mean, Luminosity have been getting just a slight edge in a lot of these situations. A slight edge is all it takes with teams that are this well matched.
Definitely does seem to be the case here, and it's looking pretty good for Luminosity after that rough one they had last match. So,
I mean, all we know so far for certain is the fact that Reciprocity cannot retake first place, as they are not going to be able to get 3 points out of this no matter how hard they try.
Very true.
Whereas Luminosity, they now have 5 rounds to make that happen, including this one.
See if they pull that off as they start to get set up, and Mark says goodnight to Thomas. So not going to have a repeat of last time. And certainly not going to have a torn-up kitchen floor this time.
This is certainly not a very well-executed attack so far. I mean, we've seen some minor mistakes. Lack of information on the bottom of main stairs could have prevented that C4 if they had droned it out before pushing in there. You could also expect it when you see the barricade on the doorway that goes towards the bar. That's a very uncommon barricade, and when it is placed, it is usually to prevent you. It's kind of just to herd you into the C4.
Yeah.
or at least give a sound cue to the C4 as well if you're coming from the other side.
I'm sure it was Mark to call it out, probably.
It was probably Mark to call it out, yeah. I mean, it was his own C4. He's probably using his cardiac sensor, yeah. But whatever the case be, some really not great attack there from LG. Ooh, Rexon just gave his position away. It's got to be predicted from Retro. Question is he going to pre-fire it?
He did this last round as well.
Barbed wire's gone. Rexon goes for the peek. He sees the head and lands the shot. Fox 8 elsewhere had got one. So LG definitely not in the lead here, but they have managed to get control of blue, which is pretty important.
That obviously can be retaken potentially, though, as Rexon isn't guaranteed to be able to hold that spot, but they certainly have at least some crossfire here to potentially clear out Arsenal. But he knows that Laxon's going to be playing that pretty hard. He's not the Maestro this time. He's going to be playing instead on the dock to play a long angle a little bit differently. But Rexon's going to anticipate this here. Ooh, almost loses his face doing it, though.
This is a really powerful position for Rexon. If it be that LG wins the round, it'll be because of Rexon's heroics in all likelihood. Just based on his position, Hyena comes from behind. Laxing wins that fight, though, somehow. Pixel also in blue, but the gas canisters are making this really, really painful for the attack. Rexon, a nice kill there onto Mark, and he'll push into the back of Armory, but Laxing is not going to let anyone by him until Pixel shows up. He's got cover from the rest of Arsenal, but he doesn't have enough time to go for a plant. He's going to have to get these last two frags, and it's not going to happen. Reciprocity win their first defense and get their second total round in this match.
Well played that time. Laxing did a good job denying as much as he could. And Rexon, unfortunately, just couldn't fight it with all that smoke going on. Wasn't able to actually see Laxing approaching, so that actually worked against them a little bit. But also some of the early kills gave them a bit of a man disadvantage. Like you said, Rexon was going to have to kind of carry that round on his back right there. And just unfortunate they weren't able to get enough kills early on to set up that plant and ran out of time. So they had to push in at that point from that side. Not ideal, but at least they had the smoke to help them. Just wasn't enough against so much manpower left. So good on Reciprocity to try and bring it back a little bit, but they've got 4 more rounds to win if they want to try and get that tie. And that's not as motivating, I got to say, to try and win, or to try and get is a tie.
Yeah, a tie is not, of course, all that. It's not that great.
Here's the closeout attempt from Rexon bringing the Lion. I always like to think of Lion as a closer when it becomes that last round when you're on match point and you're just like, you know what? Let's see if we can just really edge something out here with the Lion.
Hope that doesn't mess with Luminosity's formula too much. He's a good operator for sure in situations like these if you worry about your opponent being a little bit too mobile. However, it is the case that, I mean, they haven't attacked onto Cash yet. They don't know how Reciprocity defends this, so this could be a blunder. They do have the Capitao still. Kaid Electroclaw is going to go in the garage.
Yeah, not going to bother with the bandit tricking kind of, you know, Kaid tricking style, or impact tricking either.
Looks like he's going to put one of them inside a server.
Probably the best. They don't really need the other wall open generally, so.
Yeah.
This is probably the smarter play.
Probably. But either way, they should be. Well, I mean, the Maverick's probably going to have trouble with that. He'll take some damage as he tries to open up the wall.
Yeah. I got to feel like that Rexon is such a strong 3-speed fragging operator, or when you're playing on Twitch and IQ as well, just like
he's a good
putting him on Lion, I don't know.
Well, that's already one of the walls and one of the Evil Eyes gone inside of Garage, and that wall being opened up is going to make the Garage take a lot easier for Luminosity.
Very efficient, too, in the first minute.
Extremely efficient. Doodle's going to start opening up the wall, and he's not even going to repel. He doesn't want to worry about the Electroclaw.
Still going to get bit a little bit by it?
Yeah, just a little bit, but it's not going to be too terrible. It's not like it used to be. Remember when they did 7 damage or something like that?
Thermite would just get a hose bite all the time. But Skies takes down the buck again. Thomas struggling. Some of those early picks getting a little too predictable, maybe.
Oh, that's a little bit of a hiccup there from Doodle.
He's going to have to kind of expose himself a little bit to get that missing part.
Oh, Rexon.
Sneaky, sneaky.
He's inside a garage. It's likely that the enemy has info on him. Quick position here. Sees the Mark. Firebolt comes out. Ooh, those bars working against him, and he will finally get the kill onto Mark. Great job there. Good coordination from Luminosity. Really beautiful on the take of Garage. You can see they stacked a lot of their players on this take. They could be punished for it. There is a player by Lounge, I believe that to be Foxe, and he's going to be actually playing in dark, waiting for an opportunity to pounce on his opponent. Lots of Legion traps by the garage side. Reciprocity have lost a man here. They have lost garage control, but they're certainly not out of this, especially considering Foxe's position. Though Rexen droning that out is really beneficial, as Luminosity are going to be able to hold down this angle.
Yeah, Mark just hasn't been having a good day, and I think that's really hurting Reciprocity a little bit.
No, he was tasked with the difficult job holding on to that garage.
Very true.
Didn't make it happen.
You don't have the pixel crack anymore to use, so.
Yeah, between those bars. You still have it at the top of cache stairs, at least, but
yeah,
it's very small. Laxing playing inside a workshop is going to be an instrumental operator, I'm sure, for Reciprocity on this hold, as Luminosity aren't going to be able to open up multiple angles into the site. The really tricky thing, though, for Luminosity is actually more the time than anything else, and the fact that the cache server wall is not opened up. Evil Eye calling out a lot of information here, and Skies will get his second kill of the round. He's going to get a third as well, as Hyena peeks into him. Foxe contributing downstairs, and it's just Doodle. And he physically cannot win this round. Reciprocity, 6-3, and an aggressive play from Retro to be the cherry on top.
Well done by Skies. I think kind of single-handedly saving that round.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's a big play.
Nice hold out there from Skies on the cache server stairs, using that shotgun DMR to great effect. And now Reciprocity doing as we expected. And going for that draw.
Well, they do have to go to Jim, though, and, you know, sure, Luminosity were able to defend it once, but they lost the second time, showing that even this team that's successfully defended it has weaknesses on it. Could be the same thing here. Reciprocity might struggle a bit on it. We'll see if they're able to hold off at least a little bit in terms of time for that jacuzzi wall, because that's a big part of it. Is the longer they can hold that jacuzzi wall, the longer... or the less time there is for a push, especially onto the bathroom, or able to get set up into gym proper and get some angles, or even push from the cache side into construction. All those things, the more you can burn up that time, the more chance you have at it. But so far, that hasn't been the strength from Reciprocity with their aggression. Is burning that time necessarily? I mean, when it works, sure. But I feel like the rounds that are being won by Reciprocity are more due to either really good frags by Laxing or Skies. Like, Mark is dying a lot early. Fox is dying somewhat fairly often early, maybe getting a pick or two. Retro not being a huge impact either. So it's down to Laxing and Skies for a lot. You know, gives me flashbacks to the old, like, Elevate days.
Yeah, they are working well in tandem, though, and what hasn't been some heroic performances from both of them, I don't think that necessarily means it's just them. Of course, there's contribution in other corners. Now, Luminosity having trouble locking this out.
Yeah.
It's been a struggle.
I gotta say, though, I think there is a good chance we see Luminosity take this, but at the same time, you said momentum is the thing for Reciprocity, and that's what they have right now.
They're building it, that's for sure. I think there's I don't know, man. I think it would be pretty. It wouldn't be surprising if it were a draw.
Yeah, and SSG not even playing.
Yeah, we'll put it like it wouldn't be surprising. We'll see what it is exactly Luminosity has for us on this round. But if the last attacks are anything to go on, then it's going to require Reciprocity making a major mistake.
Yeah.
I think that's the story here for Clubhouse is the defense has to mess up for the attack to, you know, reliably take a round.
I feel like if Mark can stay alive a bit longer, I mean, I know he's not always in the best position, you know, having to do the right job, but if he can stay alive a little bit longer, I think that would make it so much harder for Luminosity to make these pushes happen. Mm. Just on man count alone, because they're getting sometimes some early edging out.
Well, you know, one man often makes the difference.
Yeah. Fox always playing very aggressive with that smoke in the bathroom. Generally does a good job of denying them from entering for a long time from what we've seen from the past. I got to imagine that's going to be the case this time. But, again, the VODs here have got to prepare Luminosity for that case.
Well, Reciprocity just set up in their array, waiting patiently. Mark aggressive hold on to office. Skies deep inside of the A-bomb site. Oh, Rexen.
Mark again.
We'll take down Mark. Yeah, Mark's been having a tough day today. It happens.
Yeah, he has some really good days and some days it's just not on it as much.
Yeah, well, he's gone now, but he did manage to at least delay the office take somewhat. There's only 45 seconds left for Luminosity to make this execution happen. But this is definitely their best prospect yet, apart from that first round they managed to win on attack. Firebolt will miss inside a bathroom. Too much room to breathe in that room. Second one to cut off rotation from Workshop. And that's going to be probably the telltale sign of the take. Skies gets one and Retro another. So Reciprocity repelling this attack. No Firebolts left on the Capital. Smoke's probably still in hand, but Skies inside a server is going to take down Hyena. Pardon me, in the sight, in fact. On a nice angle there through that window. And there you go, it's a complete lockout. Reciprocity, great hold there despite losing Mark early on. Thomas, the last alive, just going to be waiting patiently. There's no way he's going to go for this take. There's no way it's going to work out. So we go to 6-4, Reciprocity fighting back, and we are staring down the barrel of a draw at this point.
Well, unfortunately for Reciprocity, it cannot be a win, but hey, better that than take the loss.
Better a draw than a loss, yeah, and you get a single point out of it, and you keep yourself in lockstep with your opponent.
Yeah.
Both of these teams, again, on 7 points, I believe, right now, so...
I almost feel like denying Luminosity the points is just about as important as getting the points.
Oh, certainly.
With them fighting for the top in the fashion that they are. I know Dark Zero has the top, but...
Well, you can bet your bottom dollar right now, Dark Zero watching this, right? Rooting for Reciprocity to get that draw.
Right?
There's only 2 more rounds. Come on, Reciprocity. I can hear him say it. Because if they do get the draw, then this is going to be Dark Zero, actually, retaining first place for this playday.
I'm sure they're excited about that, considering they had a little bit of struggle at the beginning of the season, but managed to pick it up. And yeah, if they can just keep that, that would be perfect for them. Rexon doing some work at 13 kills, 10 and 11 for Skies and Laxing. It's definitely been a lot of weight sometimes on some particular players. Pixel not having the best match either, but not terrible.
And sometimes you just have individual players stand apart, and sometimes you just have a bad day too. You know, like there is something to be said about. I think if you've been playing Siege long enough, I think a lot of people will relate to this experience. You log on, you start playing, and you just can't land any shots.
No,
like you get into a ranked match or what have you, 10 mans, and you just shots aren't connecting, and you don't know why.
Reaching for that Alt F4.
Yeah, and it happens to the best of us. So, yeah.
Well, just pros are paid to try and find ways to show up every time if they can.
It's true, and then they do their best.
That's why they employ psychologists a lot of the time, just to try and help with that.
Well, we'll see if anything will change moving forward here for the ill performance on both teams. Well, there's another thing, too, is sometimes you're just not put in a position to get frags.
Very true.
Sometimes that's the way your team coordinates things. There's a lot of factors involved here. Now, Luminosity have established that there are no roamers, and they're going to start pushing the actual site. You can see them doing that right now. Thomas upstairs, just coming off of the roam hunt. Now that information is well in hand for Luminosity, it should be a pretty easy take into the site, if they play it right.
Rexon at least not creeping down blue from Oil Pit area this time, or stairs, whichever. I guess it was Oil Pit each time, yeah.
It was, no, it was stairs last time.
So we'll see if he is as predictable on the blue fight. He has been winning those, though.
Yeah, I mean, Retro has struggled holding onto blue in the past. He heard the barbed wire last time he was here. He didn't peek. That's a questionable decision. I think it's a little bit of, a kind of timid play there is a way to put it. You really do need to, take your opportunities. It is going to be a bait. Of course, breaking the barbed wire is going to be a bait, but you just gotta be better than it. Because if you wait patiently on the angle, then you're going to get peeker advantage on, and you're going to lose.
That's what pre-fires were made for.
Uh-huh. So, Thomas opening up above Kitchen, trying to force some players back there. He'll be successful. With a little bit of control in Arsenal, Luminosity could potentially hit it.
No C4 going to get him this time.
Ooh.
He's actually going to be the one to get a kill. There he goes. Fox early. Again, the smoke.
Yeah, that's bad. That was also, Foxay dying in the main hallway was why Luminosity were able to take their first attack onto basement.
Not sure what Retro was trying to achieve there other than wasting some bullets. Sky's actually just about die, but thankfully Laxing there to heal him.
Yep, these Maverick holes are working wonders for Doodle. Able to inflict a lot of damage into the Church defense. Rexon is rotated over to Oil Pit. so little time, and that Firebolt's actually going to work against the attackers as it cuts off the push from Moto. It's probably trying to push someone off the Moto door, but there was no one there to push.
Time might be the thing that they lose by this time.
Yeah, it looks like Luminosity are going to be a victim of the clock with only 20 seconds left. That angle there is actually going to not be the result of Retro's death. It'll be the repeak. Luminosity putting more kills on the board, and it's just laxing in skies, but they have been the heroes throughout this match. In a 2 versus 5, if anyone on Reciprocity, it'll be them. Skies goes down, but so does Laxing, and that's it. Reciprocity lose it out. Luminosity managed to get a win against their closest rival in Pro League today, and they will put themselves in first place in North America.
Well, good on them. Obviously, the org was hoping for similar success, but Reciprocity, despite the loss today, I definitely think they still have a lot of their strength, and I expect there's a good chance we see them take their next matchup. You can't win them all.
There is potential, of course. Luminosity, though, with a 7-4 win and well-earned. They certainly did have some pretty amazing defenses in the first half, and on the second half, while their attacks were a little bit less than ideal, I think that mostly comes down to the map. It's the same thing that happened to Reciprocity. I mean, Clubhouse is just, right now, a very rigidly defender-sided map, and
yep.
Luminosity were better at, not exploiting, at using that to their advantage.
Absolutely, and I got to imagine those VODs were a factor, although if we could do the interview, I'll ask them, find out if that was a big factor. But either way, Reciprocity, while it's a strong map for them, have shown a lot, and there was definitely some mistakes being made by Reciprocity, like we saw with the maybe aggressive Fox, which that is Fox's nature, to be aggressive like that to an extent. Maybe just the operator choice wasn't the right one then.
That last round, I wouldn't say it was necessarily Fox A's aggression as much as it was him being taken down by Thomas's peek through the holes.
But that the holes are open.
He shouldn't have, he shouldn't have exposed himself to those holes, but it happened.
You could be playing inside church and smoking Motodor and things like that.
There are some safer positions for Fox who have been playing. I mean, it also was, don't forget that first defense round where Fox pushed the main hallway was unfortunate, but it's not all on him.
No. I'm just saying there is mistakes that can be highlighted for Reciprocity.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Yeah, there were some questionable things, but we can talk to the victors, Luminosity, in a brief interview.
All right. See who we got. Thomas!
Oh, hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. Sorry, my camera's a little messed up.
It's better than using your phone.
Yeah, it is. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. A little bit surprised after that win, just because that is a strong map for them. So I got to wonder, you guys letting Clubhouse through and wanting to play that again. I got to imagine first off that you wanted to play Clubhouse, and second off that you guys, I imagine, used a lot of the VODs potentially of Reciprocity's play on Clubhouse. Was that a big factor in it, or is it just like we think we could take them on it?
It came down to like a couple maps. We have a Quaifu that we're not really, pro league ready on it. We're still a little learning on it. Cafe wise, all of our players haven't played that in comp yet, so we're just learning on it. So we know if we take them on Cafe, it would be, more of a percentage to them for winning. So we narrowed it down to like 3 maps, and then they picked Clubhouse, and we were shocked because I thought we were gonna go Consulate because recent history that they beat EXG on Consulate like mad, like 7-1 before, so I thought more of their strong suit would be Consulate.
Well, either way, you guys came out the victor, so worked out.
Thank you.
Again, congratulations on the Luminosity pickup. That's something I know everyone was kind of waiting with bated breath. What is the org that's going to pick them up? That's a big org, and not only that, but it's their first entry into Rainbow Six. How has the org support been? Has it made a difference in how you guys are playing, what your support is like? Will it mean you get picked up with a bit more support staff, things like that?
Well, with the I want to shout them out because they're really amazing freaking people. From the CEO to all the staff members, they're pushing us to be more progressive in the game. They're helping us out. They gave us basically a home. They basically put their name over us when no one else wouldn't take the chance. So I want to shout out to them. And it doesn't really change the fact that just because we got an org, we won't practice or try even harder. We're still the same 92 Dream Team where we're coming in hot, no matter what the situation is, and we're gonna end out winning. The other play day against Sonics was really a mix-up of couple call-outs and misplays, but we're progressing and getting the more dubs that we can.
Well, fantastic. Congratulations again on your win. Is there anything you want to share with the fans out there of Luminosity?
No, I just want to say thank you guys for the support. You know, the supporters from 92 Dream Team and the new supporters from Luminosity. You know, go check them out at luminosity.gg and their shop at teamlg.myshopify.com. You know, that's the LG merch. And shout out to the also the Rec Boys because, you know, coming into the R6 scene, those guys were the ones that we used to look up to. And it's nice that we're playing, you know, Pro League versus them nowadays. So, shout out to them, each and every one of them. They're the homies as well, and that's about it. Thank you guys for the cast as well.
All right, well, awesome. Well, thank you for the interview, and congratulations again on your win. Well-deserved, and rest up again for the follow-up coming up soon, but have a good rest of your night in the meantime.
Thank you. Good night. Good night, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.